Welcome to the Riverside Country Club. I'm Kevin Kyle. I'm here this morning with Terry Roach. We're here for the final round robin draw of the New Brunswick Scotties Tournament of Hearts, brought to you by 360 Live, powered by Bell Alliant. Well, Terry, a big game on our feature sheet today. Team Millais versus Team Comeau. Team Millais must win to force a tiebreaker and advance to the playoffs.
Absolutely, Kevin. Should be exciting for the fans at home to see. A couple of really good teams that certainly are very much in the hunt. The Comeau team at 3-1 and Millais at 2-2. So there's a lot on the line for this game.
Yeah,
Continue on this weekend.
The top three teams from the 16th field will advance. The other games in this draw, on sheet 2, two teams that are at 0-4, so they will not advance to the playoffs, will be Team Cousins versus Team Levesque. So they're just playing for pride there. On sheet 3, Team Quillian is playing Team Crawford. Team Crawford is undefeated so far, and Team Quillian has one loss. So if the Crawford team wins, they'll advance right through to the final. If they lose, that could bring in the draw to the button to decide who gets to the final. We'll have some updates later on where the teams stand with that draw to the button, so we'll have an idea who will have the advantage in a tiebreaker situation. So we're set to get going here in the first end of this final round robin draw. Jane Boyle lead for Team Millais. Looks like she's asked this one top four, or?
I would think so, Kevin. I didn't exactly see her tap the broom in the rings, but I'm expecting that's what the call was. Looks like it might be a little light, though. It's curling nice on the end, but it's going to be a guard.
Jane Boyle's, she's a counselor for the town of Sussex, and curls out of the Thistle St. Andrews Curling Club.
Yeah, that guard actually didn't work out too well for the Millais team. It didn't get to the center line, so Team Comeau is going to come right under that right away with an aggressive call. Good opportunity for them.
Yeah, Kyra Mclaughlin for Team Comeau, leading things off.
And the teams have had their practice and their draw to the button competition for the right to have the hammer, so they should be quite comfortable with their draw weight. Nice team with Chris Tapley and Paul Cole and Vern Lister have done an excellent job on the ice here for the event. Speeds have been really good all game. Lots of curl, lots of opportunity for the teams for shot making. That's a very nice shot, that draw right into the tee line, right under the corner guard by Team Comeau.
So we're going to get into this quite early here. A lot of games seen teams just go top four and just play it open the first end, but
yeah, well that first shot of Jane Boyle's first draw attempt of the 4-foot coming up light and being a corner guard has set the tone for an aggressive end. Good looking shot here by Jane. A hair late, but it's in a really good position to tap up into that yellow stone for future play. Comeau's going to call a draw over to the other side of the rings into the 8-foot. Deal with that red stone later.
So Kyra McLaughlin with her second shot here in the first end. So Kyra McLaughlin with this Comeau team has won a bronze medal, a couple of bronze medals at the Canadian Junior Curling Championships.
Yeah, this has been a team with a lot of junior experience and a lot of success, Kevin. Slip to the back 8-foot to sit number 3.
Normally, Justine Comeau's sister Bridget would play on this team. Lea Thompson is filling in that slot this week. So Lea Thompson brings a veteran presence to this team. I'm not so sure Lea will be too happy that I'm calling her a veteran, but so Lea Thompson getting ready to throw second stones.
Interesting result on that. They were playing a little tap, but they ended up coming right around it for shot stone into the 4-foot, Kevin.
Lea Thompson with 3 New Brunswick Mixed Championships and 3 New Brunswick Mixed Doubles Championships. So certainly Lea has lots of provincial experience.
This yellow stone is inside the line they had hoped for. It's going to hit the top red, jam it on the yellow. Spreads the rocks around the rings for a totally different look.
So Jody DeSola getting ready to throw for Team Millais.
A chance for them to sit too if they hit and stick this on the tee line in the 8-foot. Nice hit and roll, but it does bunch up the 2 reds for Team Comeau to deal with. Team Comeau does have the hammer.
So Jody just, oh sorry,
Uh,
Lea Thompson with her second stone.
This rock may hit and roll. No, hits and rolls very nicely for shot rock, Kevin, right in front of that red. Very nice shot by Lea.
Yeah, great shot. So being a mixed doubles championship, Leah's probably used to making shots without having to use the sweepers. So
Sayre's calling for a freeze onto that yellow.
Kathleen Award with the delivery.
He's got some curling to do. Nice looking weight on this, Kevin. It just finishes a bit more. It's not going to quite curl to the point that they wanted, but slides a little deep. Team Comeau's going to put another yellow right on top of that shot rock yellow, which is a good aggressive call. If they line them up properly, it's going to be very tough for Sayre to deal with.
Erica Clough. Erica curls out of the Capital Winter Club. She's in her first year of kinesiology at UMB. And she skipped the 2019 Canada Winter Games representative for New Brunswick.
This rock was a little wide and a little heavy. Wasn't what they were hoping for at all. Had a good opportunity to draw right on top of that yellow to sit 2 and didn't quite make it. Now Sayre's going to try and make that shot.
Kathleen Award getting ready to deliver her second stone here. So Kathleen was she was a 27 New Brunswick Scotties champion. So she's looking to get back to the national stage for the Scotties. Also 2015 New Brunswick mixed champion.
Sweepers have to really work this rock, Kevin. I think it's a little light and tight on the weight side. It's not going to get around that corner guard. Another opportunity for Team Comeau to come right around that rock now and sit number 2 in that 4-foot and really put some pressure on here.
Yeah, Team Comeau does have the hammer. So Erica Clough has to bring another one around here. So Justine Comeau, Justine Kane just top 4.
Good looking shot here. Sits number 2, top 4 foot. Just went to the tee line. Sitting number 2. Or sitting number 1, and they've got number 2 on the side of the 4 foot. So now the Millais team's going to have to, I assume, play a draw tap on that and try and sit shot or at least a good solid number 2 in a frozen position to.
Is that Yellowstone at the back, number 3, Terry?
No, there's
Also,
a red. There's a red and behind the yellow off to the
okay.
side, Kevin, on the 4 foot. So, but yellow are sitting a good solid 1 and 2 at this point.
Important shot here for Sarah Millais. Sarah Millais needs to win this game in order to extend her hopes of winning this championship. So Sarah Millais with her first shot here in the first end without hammer. Even if she can get in here for number 2, Terry, she can limit some of the damage.
Absolutely, because she's facing a possible 2 or 3 ender here unless she can put a good rock in here, Kevin. She could freeze right on top of this rock. Even if it's number 2, then there's nothing the Comeau team will be able to do with that stone.
So Jody DeSole and Jane Boyle working this rock right to the face of that yellow stone. Taps it a bit.
Well, almost perfect, but it leaves an opportunity for Team Comeau to play a back 4, back 8 draw if they can curl up to the nose of that red and tap it back and sit 3.
Yeah, with the great ice conditions we've seen here this week, they can get to the inside of this red stone and flop in and put a lot of pressure on.
Yes, Sarah's shot was just a hair heavy and got a little bounce and created this opportunity.
So Justine Comeau getting ready to throw her first stone here in the first end. As we mentioned, as a skip of Team Comeau, she won a bronze medal at the 2016-2018 Canadian Junior Curling Championships. She's been to Junior Nationals 4 times. She won a silver medal at the U18 Curling Championships in 2017. And she was representative of for Canada Winter Games in 2015.
This rock has got a tight line. It might squeeze by, and if it does, it should be perfect. No, It just touches the guard, which is all it had to do to get offline.
Yeah, so great job brushing near Kyra McLaughlin. Erica Clough almost got that rock by. So decision time here for Sarah.
I think she's sitting number 2, Kevin. She could put a guard on that and just give the yellow a single point, which would be good at this point, and go into the second end with the hammer. Or she could try and advance it. A little risky. Anytime you can force the opposition with hammer to just take one is a win.
So Sarah Millais curls out of Curl Moncton. She's been runner-up at this event 4 times. So looking to make that breakthrough. And if she's going to do it this year, she's going to have to take the long road. Force win this game, force a tiebreaker.
She's playing a little tap. And she did tap it into a shot position. It's a nice shot.
Yeah, great shot there from Sarah Millais. A clutch shot. So Justine Comeau now with the hammer here in the first end. It doesn't look like there's a double. Is there enough separation there? No type of double? Doesn't look like it, does it, Terry?
No, it doesn't, Kevin. Just a matter of where that top red will end up after a hit here. If it outcounts one or both of those yellows in the back.
So they're just taking edge of the rock.
Obviously going to throw some weight, and I'm sure they want to come by that guard as tight as possible to get to the inside of this red and force it to bounce after the bang bang hit.
So sweepers are on it right out of her hand.
Looks like they're playing the outside of the stone the way they're sweeping that. I'm kind of surprised, but
So it looks like one for Team Comeau.
one for sure.
Okay, well, I'll wait for them to post that. You're watching the New Brunswick Scotties Tournament of Hearts, brought to you by 360 Live, powered by Bell Lion. I'm Kevin Cowan. With me is Terry Roach, coming to you from the Riverside Country Club in Rothesay, New Brunswick. Looking over at sheet 3 there, Terry, the first end between Quillian and Crawford. Looks like they blanked that first end.
Yes, they did. And Levesque has taken one on sheet 2 against Cousins.
So
Two up 1-0.
So both those teams trying to get in the win column for this event. So Kyra Mclaughlin set to get things started here in the second end. Justine asking for the center guard.
Little on the high side. Good opportunity for Team Millais to come right under that rock into the top of the rings. Sit shot under cover.
Jane Boyle being asked to come around.
Nice looking weight. This rock has to finish.
So Jane Boyle with lots of Scotties experience. She's been there twice as a lead, and she's been there 3 times as an alternate.
Nice weight, but they've left that fairly open, Kevin, for Justine to hit this and sit on the top 12 foot or roll under the guard slightly.
Yeah, so Kyra Mclaughlin being asked to make a little play on this. Lea Thompson, Erica Clough working the brushes.
Nice hit and stick, top 12 foot. Now Sarah will try and remove that stone, and she'd love to roll into the guard slightly.
Jane Boyle also has 6 mixed New Brunswick championships.
This rock's a little on the wide side, Kevin, with plenty of weight. I'm not sure that's going to get to the yellow stone. No, it's not going to. Not going to make that shot. Good opportunity for Justine to come under the center guard and rock in the top 12 foot and come right into the 4 foot and sit 2.
So Lea Thompson with her first shot here in the second end. So Leah's brother Sean and her father Steve were commentating the game last night. So the Thompson family certainly big curling family here in St. John.
Not a bad option. Came up light of what they're calling for, but a good center guard they can utilize later in the end without the hammer.
Yeah, Justine Comeau, she's not afraid to be aggressive. She's very comfortable with rocks and play.
This one here's plenty wide too, Kevin.
Yeah, Jody DeSola.
Looks like they're just going to push that off the rings, possibly. Yes, they do. So, Justine's got two nice guards to work with without the hammer, so without question, she's going to come right into the 4-foot.
Yeah, so the door is open. Those two guards up there to come around. So Lea Thompson with her second stone here in the second end. Kyra Mclaughlin trying to carve this away from that guard.
Very nice line, a little deeper than they hoped for. It's going to go back to the back 8 foot and allow a nice stone for Sarah to draw in front of. Sarah with the hammer, looking to score 2 or more points.
So Jody DeSola with her second stone here in the second end. The Millais team does have the hammer. Just waiting on this rock to curl. It's just a bit heavy.
It's going to be something that Justine is going to use, I can assure you, Kevin.
So she'll come down that same path.
They're going to have to all lighten up on their weight slightly, use the sweepers a bit more because they're clearing the guards by ample space and they're just a hair heavy. If they could use those sweepers more in tighter lines, they're going to get the rocks better positioned in the top of the rings or in front of the tee line.
So Kyra Mclaughlin and Lea Thompson working this stone, trying to get it to the rings.
They're going to get it in. It's just a matter if they can get it right into the top 4 or not, but it's in a good position to tap up later in the end, and it's very jammable. If Sarah hits it, which it looks like she's going to do, it could be easily jammed onto the 2 rocks in the back of the 4-foot. That's the benefit of keeping the rocks higher and look for opposition mistakes.
So Sarah's just indicating that she wants backline weight. Asking Kathleen Ward to try to get to the inside of this stone.
Nice looking weight in the shot. It's, this one is really curling.
Yeah.
Looking pretty good. Yeah, that's a fine shot.
Avoids the jam.
Yep, just got to the inside of the stone and avoided the 2 rocks at the back. Well played.
So no opportunity for the Comeau team to make a play on that stone, so they're just going to come around.
Yeah, they still have lots to work with here. They are sitting number 2. 4-foot is fully open. If they can come around those 2 guards and put something high into the 4-foot, it'll be tough for Sarah to deal with.
Erica Clough.
This is a nice looking shot here, Kevin. If it just stops into the top 4, I wouldn't bring it deep myself, but nicely done. Foot higher would have been perfect, but that's very good.
Right to the pin. So it shrinks the scoring area for Team Millais.
Over on sheet 3, the Quilliam-Crawford game. Quilliam is throwing a hit against 2 yellow rocks of Crawford's in the rings, attempting to hit and stick
And that is the hammer. So
Shot, hammer's coming down. They need to hit and stick in the forefoot to get their one. She was fortunate on that. She was a little wide, hit the shot rock in the forefoot and spilled over and jammed against the yellow in the 12-foot. So Quilliam gets one in the second in the Quilliam-Crawford game. Two up 1-0 after 2 ends.
So Kathleen Ward is being asked to make the peel. She'll let their shooter. I think Sarah's looking to try to open up that red stone in the 8-foot that they would be able to promote that up. So now Justine's going to try to block off that path to the shot stone.
Yeah, good opportunity here for Justine if she can block that path to be in a very good steal position here.
So this is Justine's first stone here in the second end without hammer. If there is a tiebreaker game, the tiebreaker game will be at 2 p.m. this afternoon. And then the semifinals would be at 7 p.m. tonight. So get your errands done this morning and then head down to the Riverside Country Club for the New Brunswick Scotties.
Rock over curled a little bit, Kevin. She's left some room for Sarah to come in and draw a tap that to set shot. She was hoping to have that guard over another 3 or 4 inches off the center line.
Sarah Millais with her first stone with hammer here in the second end. Try to tap that back, make room to get a second one in there on her last shot. So Sarah with her first shot.
Shots on the way.
Swoopers just watching it so far. Now they're on it.
It's got some curling to do, Kevin. It's a little on the wide side. It may slide right by or just touch the rock going by. No, they've a little wide, a little heavy.
Yeah, Kathleen was asking Jane to try to carve that one and get the little wick off the corner guard.
Yeah. Great opportunity for Justine here. She draws right into the top forefoot. It's going to be very difficult for Sarah to remove and possibly give up a steal. But she does have the in-turn ready to deal with. She might be able to possibly advance that. I think it's fairly open on that in-turn side. That might be her savior. See where this Comeau rock ends up.
So Justine Comeau with her last shot here in the second end. Line shot stone without hammers. Has an opportunity to close the door here and make it very tough for Sarah on her last shot.
This is a rock you want to miss on the pro side and leave it a little light, if anything, so that Sarah can't get in there, but we'll see where she ends up. This is a little on the wide side, too. But it stayed high in the rings. Sarah cannot deal with that side of the sheet, in my opinion. She's going to have to try and do something on the in-turn side with her red rock at the top 8 to tap it up for shot.
And that's the indication.
Looks like she's playing a heavy draw on this to try and tap it into the yellow stone on the button to get her one.
Sarah Millais with hammer in second. Second end, trailing 1-0.
Actually, if she taps us on the right angle, Kevin, she can get 2 because she's sitting number 2 at just behind the forefoot. So this is actually a pretty good attempt at a deuce in the second end.
So Kathleen Ward calling off the sweepers.
This rock is curling nicely. Actually,
if she just gets by that guard, and she does, she's just by the guard.
They hold the angle.
Oh,
that's
Kathleen trying to shoot that stone out.
That's a heck of a shot, and I believe that's for 2, Kevin. Very nice shot by Sarah Millais.
Nice skipper's deuce there. You're watching the New Brunswick Scotties Tournament of Hearts, brought to you by 360 Live, powered by Bell Lion. So the big shot there by Sarah.
Yeah, that'll really pump the team up because they were in a hole that entire end. They couldn't get anything going, but that shot, the skipper's deuce, it should get the team motivated to dig a little deeper for the rest of the game, in my opinion.
So I've just been handed the draw to the button results. So prior to each game, the teams throw a draw to the button to determine who has hammer, and the distances are measured, and the total of all your draws to the buttons are used for tiebreaker. So the team that's had the best draw to the button overall over the 5 draws will get the advantage in a tiebreaker situation. So the ranking right now, so the top draw to the button is Team Comeau. So if there turns out to be a 3-way tie for first, Comeau would advance right to the final. So she holds the edge for the tiebreakers. Crawford is second, Quillian is third, and Millais would be fourth. Those draw to the buttons before each game are important. So Jane Boyle with her first stone slides to the back of the rings. Kyra Mclaughlin being asked to put up the corner guard. So Team Comeau does have the hammer, trailing 2-1 here in the third end.
Yeah, a couple of really interesting first 2 ends of the game, Kevin. Lots of aggression with guards and draws and taps and hits and rolls, and really a fun game to watch so far.
Yeah, great shots from the skippers. So Jane Boyle with her second stone. Through 2 ends, I've just been handed the stats through 2 ends from our statistician, Adib Saman. So Jane Boyle's at 88% through the first 2 ends.
Yeah, those are really good numbers because I've been told that Mr. Saman is the toughest marker that we have in the event.
And Kyra McLaughlin getting set to throw. She's at 69% through those first 2 ends. So Justine asked Kyra to make use of that corner guard. She just threw up and come around it. Yeah, watch this spot, Terry. It'll really come off that line hard.
Yeah, it sure will. Nice looking line here.
Great job of brushing there from Erica Clough and Lea Thompson.
Looks like it's just slightly light of the rings, unfortunately. They could have drug it another 6-8 inches. It would have been just perfect, top 12 foot under cover, but they may be able to use that rock later in the end just to tap it up a little bit.
So Jody DeSola getting ready to throw here. So Kathleen Ward has taken over the ends for this shot, so Sarah's taking a break.
This rock is a little on the warm side coming by that top red guard. I think it's just going to tap their back one out. Not quite what they had hoped for.
Jody's at 81% through the first two ends. And Sarah Millais back in the game now after taking a break on that shot. Lea Thompson at 75% through the first two ends. On her first shot here in the third end.
She's coming around that corner. She could just chip that last yellow they threw and even spill two of them on.
Kyra McLaughlin and Erica Clough working the stone. And they do clip that stone that was just thrown.
Yeah. City number 2 and 3 with the hammer. Sarah's going to hit that top yellow, and we'll have to be careful not to jam it onto her right at the back 8 foot, back 12 foot.
So just trying to decide which turn here to throw. Originally she called the in turn as Jody asked if she could throw out turn here. Jane Boyle on the brush.
Looks like a hit and roll out. It's going to hit it a little thin. So now the Comeau team, they're going to come into that corner guard again, Kevin. They know that path very well.
Lea Thompson with her second stone here in the third end.
Rock has got some curling to do. Clearing the corner guard by 8 or 10 inches. That's a nice shot just behind the tee line. It is fully buried.
Sarah asking Kathleen if she can see any of that outside edge of that stone.
Try and hit and roll in on that biter over in the 12 foot. Not a bad thought to minimize the yellow stones in the rings, as yellow has hammer.
Kathleen Ward is at 69% through the first two ends.
It's a very nice hit and roll.
Yeah, great hit and roll there from Kathleen. Erica Clough for Team Comeau. She's at 81% through those first two ends. So Erica's having a strong start. Going to be asked to make a hit on that stone. That was Kathleen just put on the button.
This Rock is going early. See if they can hold the line.
Kyra and Lea trying to hold it.
Ooh,
Great job. Great job on the
it.
brushing.
Yeah, they just snuck it by that guard. They're going to roll out, but pulled it off.
Have to see if they're available to spare for me on Monday night.
I'm sure they could be a great benefit to you and your team.
So Kathleen with her second stone here in the third end. So she's going to come around the corner there, Terry. Try to come back to that yellow stone.
Yeah, with that yellow behind the tee line, it's a very good opportunity to freeze up to it and sit number 1 and be hard to remove, Kevin. It's got some curling to do.
Yeah, Leo's trying to carve it there, but
it's another one of those shots that's just a hair heavy and a hair wide, and unfortunately it slides by and through the rings. Now Justine's going to try and play the same shot because it's such a really good stone to freeze to and be hard to remove. They want to take advantage of this. And they'll sit 2 if they do so.
Erica Clough. Start to see that rock cut hard there as it gets close to the hog line.
Got some work to do in this rock. I'm not sure how far they can drag it with the brooming. It blocks the shot rock in the 8-foot, which is of some benefit.
Just came up a little short.
There is room, though, to come around that rock just thrown by the Millais team and still draw in front of that yellow edge of the 4 tee line. If they can bury it by half to 2/3 of a rock, it'll be very hard to remove.
Sarah Millais with her first stone here in the third end without hammer. Leading 2-1. So Sarah's at 75% through those first 2 ends. So if they can get the right speed here, should be able to bury this in there nicely, Terry.
Good opportunity, Kevin. This is going really early and looks late. I don't know if she missed through it or if it picked up some debris, but it's unfortunately not going to come close to doing what you'd hope to do. Good opportunity for Justine. Here she's sitting shot. She now can play a wide draw on the outturn side and get into that top 4-foot. She seems to be indicating a tap maybe, or she's looking at the other side of the sheet anyway. She has a good opportunity here.
So Justine Comeau's also at 75. So even Steven in the percentages for the skips through the first 2 ends at 75%.
On sheet 3, the Crawford-Quillian game, Crawford has just taken 2 in the third end to go up 2-1 over Quillian. Justine's coming to the hack, throwing her stone with this draw. Nice looking line. Sweepers are not working it too hard at this point. Now it's starting to really move. I think they might have waited a little too long in this, Kevin. It really broke. They lost their line. Looks like it had nice weight to get into the top 8-foot.
And that opens up the path for Sarah Millais to draw down on that outturn again. New Brunswick Curling would like to thank its partners, Kruger Products, makers of Scotties, Papa John's Pizza, Sims Home Hardware, and the province of New Brunswick. So third end here, a close game. Opportunity for Sarah to, again, apply some pressure.
Well, this shot is really a must-make, Kevin, or she's going to be facing giving up a 2 by Justine, who's got the entire 8-foot to work with.
So Jane and Jody were working that hard, and they're by the guard now, so they're off. Now it's just about the weight.
Yeah. It's a pretty reasonable shot. I would say there is room, though, for Justine just to tap it back 2 feet and get her 2, because Sarah did clear that guard by a good 6-8 inches, so there's lots of room there.
Yeah, great weight there by Sarah. That rock just didn't finish hard after the guard. So Justine Comeau try to follow that down. Justine Comeau with hammer here in the third end, trailing Team Millais 2-1. Trying to tap this back and get her deuce.
She should have good weight, Kevin. They've got some room.
So Justine trying to call the sweepers off from this end of the ice. Looks like it might jam, Terry.
Yes, it did. It did jam.
That's all about where the rocks end up.
She was slightly heavy, and it looks like she's given up a steal of 1 to the Millais team. So Sarah Millais going to go up 3-1 after 3 ends in this game.
You're watching the New Brunswick Scotties Tournament of Hearts, brought to you by 360 Live, powered by Bell Alliant. This is the final draw of the round robin, and teams trying to secure their position in the playoffs. So the Comeau team is assured a playoff position. Just trying to figure out where that will be. Team Comeau does hold the advantage in the draw to the button, Terry. So that's a big advantage.
Absolutely.
So they could avoid a tiebreaker game altogether. They could lose this game and still slip into that second position and wait for the winner of the tiebreaker game.
Jane Boyle, the lead for the Millais team, delivering her first stone of the end. I assume they're going to want a tight center guard on this.
Yeah, big game for Sarah Millais. Trying to stay alive in the Scotties and make her breakthrough to the national championships.
That's a good guard by Jane. Justine's going to come right under that.
So, Kyra McLaughlin, our first stone here in the fourth end.
This rock is going. I think they're going to chip the guard, which is a great plan B, to be honest with you, when you've got the hammer. Open the guards up and push them off to the side a little bit.
That's not the end of the world. Let Sarah Millais come back to this intern draw for Jane Boyle.
They've played it a bunch of times. They should have a good comfort zone here in this shot. Got some work to do with the sweepers. Line's nice. It's going to come up a bit short.
So 3 rocks played, 3 guards out front. And Justine's asking Kyra to come in again. So I'd expect Kyra to make the adjustment on the weight for this shot.
So just get better line, Kevin.
It was further out there too. I think she did throw more weight there. Just get out to that fresh stuff.
Yeah, just slightly lighter. It would have been just a gorgeous shot, but just in front of the ring, so they can certainly advance it, tap it, and use it later.
So Sarah trying to figure out how they can get in there now. So I'm going to try and promote one of those red stones. Try to promote that outside one. Leave the one that's close to center. So Jody DeSola with her first shot here in third end.
They've got those two nice yellow guard, or those two red guards side by side that they can, nice tappable stones into the scoring area. Sarah's going to take those right under those two yellow corners. Set shot. Still has a reasonable center guard just off the center line.
So a nice white there from Jody. Justine asking Lea to draw in around that red guard. So Justine calling off the sweepers there. It's hanging out there.
Certainly is. It's a little on the light side, too. Lots of rocks to work with here, Kevin, on both teams.
Yeah, I thought Justine might have made a play on the other side there, but just came up a little short there. So now advantage Team Millais here with all these rocks out front.
Yeah,
Team Millais without hammer.
They're going to try and come in that port to put number 2 in the rings.
So Jody DeSola with her second stone here. They're just line looks good.
Yeah, lots of weight. Coming right to the middle of the port. It's going to come a hair deep. Justine will obviously have to follow that down.
Yeah. Important shot here for Lea. So I don't think Lea will be light here.
No. It's another sensitive weight line shot. She's hanging out, so she's going to actually bump that red in, which could be a little bit of a mini disaster. Red's now sitting 3, all under cover. So things are not shaping up well for Justine here so far, Kevin.
No, 3 red stone, 3 Millais stones in there, and the whole center is choked off. So the only real play the team Comeau would have would be on this yellow stone, so Sarah says I'm going to get rid of it.
Justine's going to have to bring out some dynamite and do some blasting out front and open it up, Kevin. She's going to have to create some space to get into the rings. Nice hit and roll here.
Oh, and the tap to the D line.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right there. Now it's going to have to be cleanup time here for Erica Clough.
Yeah, absolutely. You need to move some rocks around and open up the front. Or Justine's going to be facing some very difficult shots on her last 2 stones. Timeout called. I would say it's time for Tim Comeau, the coach of Justine's team, her dad, to come out and have a team discussion to see how they can get out of this.
Yeah, I think Tim would like to see them open up that other side. So both teams get 2 timeouts per game. Coach can come out and confer with the team. The timeout does have to be called by the players on the ice, but it would appear that Coach Comeau had signaled that from behind the glass. The team saw that and put up the timeout side. So over on sheet 3, Terry, looks like we have an update. Looks like Team Crawford took 2, so they lead 2-1.
Yes, they do. And they're sitting 1 rock in the rings currently on the 12-foot in the Quillian team with the hammer.
Playing the 4th end.
I think they'd be happy just to hit that rock and roll away and blank the end, Kevin.
So in our sheet, the timeout is over, so they made their decision. Yeah, so Coach Comeau, Justine's dad, would like to see them open up that left-hand side. It's an opportunity to get this side open, and then they're going to have an option on in turn or out turn on Justine's shots.
Yeah, she does have room to get to the button on the in-turn draw if that's her last resort. Throwing some real weight here, which is needed to move things around, but is the rock going to curl enough?
Great
Yeah,
cleanup
actually,
shot.
That's quite a fine shot. It really is. It really helped a lot.
So quite a valuable time out there for Tim Comeau there. That really changed the end around. You know, down 3-1. They were looking at giving up another steal here, an even end, fourth end. It's still early, but Tim Comeau just didn't want to force the issue.
Pretty important point of the game with those so many reds in the rings facing his team.
So Kathleen Ward's coming into the top of the 8-foot.
Justine's going to try and hit that roll into those two guards. I'm sure she'd love to spill one or two of the reds at the back as well and keep the 4-foot open and have a rock buried on the 8-foot. If this works out well, that could really be a good opportunity for the team, Kevin.
Yeah, so Erica Clough with her second shot here. After making a great cleanup shot to make this possible.
Very important to hit this one on the broom side and angle it back onto those reds at the back 4-foot. Continue to move rocks around. She's quite close. Got it on the nose. Moved another one off the back of the 4-foot. That's another good shot by Erica.
Yeah. That's really changed the complexion of this end.
Yeah, they were in real trouble 2 rocks ago. Now things are looking much better.
Still an opportunity for Team Millais to get a steal over the force.
Sylvie Quilliam on sheet 3 took 1 in the 4th against Andrea Crawford. That game is now tied at 2-2, Kevin. So that's a battle of 2 top teams.
Yeah, that's gonna be a battle. So Team Comeau would like to, I think, see Team Quillian win that game. And I think that would open the door with the draw to the button for if Comeau wins here. Those 2 combinations, I think, might put them right into the final.
Sarah Millais with a hit attempt, but looks like a nose hit. No jam on the back, so red sits 3. So we'll see what Justine decides to do. Looks like she might try and hit this red stone just off the 4-foot and roll under, or it looks like she might want to hit the top one. I would be tempted to try and hit and roll under. There's a lot of rocks high in the rings and out front that she could roll under and maybe set up a 2-ender, but we'll see what her final decision is.
Yeah, Terry, I agree. I like playing that little hit and roll, be shot, and bring the deuce into play.
Yeah, there's 3 rocks you can roll under, including the red at the top 12-foot and those 2 guards, so lots of good things could happen with a roll, but she wants to hit the top one. If she does roll into the corners, into the 8-foot, that leaves the 4-foot red rock open, or the rock slightly off the 4-foot open.
So they're looking at lining up the double here. Lea Thompson holding the broom. Or Justine Comeau with her first rock here in the 4th end. Justine Comeau does have hammer. The sweepers are working this one hard.
Yeah, I think think they might be
close.
Yeah, they've got a nice little roll there, Kevin. Rolls in for number 2. And the shot rock biting the 4-foot is wide open. So Sarah has to be careful here. She's going to try and draw number 2 in. Force Justine to a single point.
Over on sheet 2, it looks like Team Cousins has a 3-2 lead on Team Levesque. Those two teams both looking for their first win. So Sarah trying to come around here.
Asking for just a bit more ice on this, just to make sure she gets by those guards.
And she doesn't want to leave any kind of double that give up a deuce.
She has to make this draw or she's going to give Justine a good shot at a 2-ender. So she's taking her time and the rock is on its way.
Sweepers are watching it, so I think it's a little heavy.
It's a little warm. She slips back. Justine's going to have a wide open hit for 2.
Lea Thompson getting ready to help this rock go out the back door.
It just hung on for number 2, Kevin. It just hung on. So Justine now has to hit and stick for a single point.
Justine Comeau with the hammer here. Trying to get her one here in the 4th to cut the lead to 3-2. You're watching the New Brunswick Scotties Tournament of Hearts, brought to you by 360 Live, powered by Bell Alliance. Justine Comeau set to deliver. Just needs to hit and stick.
I think we've got good looking line here, Kevin.
Yeah, Lea Thompson in the house likes the line.
Fine shot by Justine, gets her single point, and she now trails 3-2 after 4 ends against Sarah Millais.
Well, I think Justine would be pretty happy there after the way things were looking up to that timeout by Coach Comeau. That to get one out of this end probably feels like getting two.
Oh, well, absolutely a big point in the game for them. If they gave up a steal of 2 or 3, they would have been in a huge hole. So they're very much in this game with lots of curling left.
So Kyra Mclaughlin getting set to deliver the stone here in 5th end. After the 5th end, teams will take a 5-minute break.
Expecting another guard here. The teams have both been quite aggressive this game. There's been very few calls into the rings to keep it open. They want some guards out front and some opportunities to score points.
And we've seen some misses short where rocks that were called in the rings are coming up short of guards and resulting in a lot of junk out front.
This is another one of those high guards which tend to be friends of the opposition. It's a good chance for them to come right in and draw into the top ring and get into a good scoring opportunity right off the bat.
And that's what Sarah Millais is asking Jane Boyle to do, come right in the top 4. I've just been given some update on our stats through 4 ends. So Jane Boyle's at 75% through those 4 ends.
Jane came up light, but it'll be a Nice little corner guard the team could use later in the end, depending on how things develop.
So Kyra McLaughlin's curling 75% through those first. I'm sorry. Kyra's at 84% through the first four ends. Trying to get this into the top four. Great shot there by Kyra.
Yeah, very nice.
Great brushing there from Erica Clough and Lea Thompson.
Fully buried. Just in front of the 4-foot. Hard to freeze too.
And Sarah's asking Jane to make that freeze. Jane Boyle, her second stone here in the fifth end.
This rock is quite wide. It's got a lot of curling to do, Kevin.
So how they'll be looking at going around it. Well, slides to the back 8.
Yeah, it's fairly open for a hit and roll over to the side of the rings. Keep it away from the 4-foot because Sarah will just freeze on it if they hit and stick in that position.
There's a little discussion there between from Lea there in the hack, Lea Thompson, second stone for Team Comeau. Just asking how she likes the draw instead of the hit. Just gonna go back to the hit here.
Yeah, I like the hit and roll over to the 8-foot, 12-foot. Separate the rocks, keep it away from the 4-foot. Make it harder for something that Sarah could use. Face 2.
Lea being a left-hander is on that side of the ice. That rock's pretty wide open to her. She can see all of that.
She's going to get a piece here, but I'm not sure she's going to hang around.
And
just pushed it off the rings.
I think maybe she threw a little more weight there than Justine was expecting.
Smart decision here by Sarah to open up that center guard.
Yep, so Jody DeSola being asked to make this peel. So Jody DeSola's at 78% through four ends.
Nice peel by Jody.
Yep.
That was the finesse way to do it without throwing a ton of weight. Just hit the broom and good positive handle and curled up nicely to a piece of the stone and made it go away.
Justine's asking Lea to put that guard back up. Leah's at 69% through four ends. Brusher's trying to get this rock tight, carve it to the line. Some nice guard there from Lea.
Yeah, it leaves the yellow rock open. But would be in good position for use later in the end, depending on how these hit and rolls work out. They're going to start playing.
Pretty much have to throw this one on the rope. So Jody DeSola being asked to hit that shot stone. Stick around. Well, Kathleen trying to carve that, so try and keep it off the guard.
No, they're going to peel the guard. That's a great plan B. You don't want to be wide and miss everything, and then that's trouble zone. get rid of that guard on a minimal basis, and you're still getting something out of the shot, Kevin.
Yeah, otherwise you would have seen another guard go up and you'd be looking at a wall. So Erica Clough being asked to put the guard back up. Erica at 84% through 4 ends. And the brushers are working this one hard. Want to get this to the center line.
Yeah, they're going to cover a bit more of the yellow than the last guard did, make it harder to remove, but there's still room through that hole.
Still a teaser.
If they hit the hole, they make the shot.
So Kathleen Ward being asked to come through that port. Kathleen at 72% through 4 ends. Again, plan B here would be to hit that center guard, Terry.
Yes, if they
It's close here.
would rather hit the center than the corner, but I think they're going to hit the hole and make the shot very nicely,
Yes.
Kevin. Yep. Didn't get any roll, but they hit it right on the snout.
Great shot from Kathleen Ward.
There is room to get a little roll under by the guard and clear it by half an inch to an inch. I think it'll just finish and flop under slightly, which would make it very difficult to get to.
So Erica Clough being asked to duplicate that shot. So Lea trying to carve it away from the guard.
Another nose
Yeah.
hit.
Great shot from Erica. So both thirds there, both big shot shooters.
Yeah.
They both can be counted on to make those big shots, make life easy for the skip. So Kathleen Ward with her second shot here. Team Millais with hammer.
Very nice shot.
Nice hit and
Got a
roll.
Really nice little
Change
roll.
things up a little bit.
Absolutely.
Changes the ice. That port must be a lot bigger than it looks, Terry.
I guess they're making it look pretty big, Kevin. Really good deliveries out there. They're nice and straight, good releases. They can hit the broom very consistently and make those shots.
So Justine's going to try and hit that rock. Make it go away. So Justine Comeau's at 63% through the first 4 ends. So it's Justine Comeau's first stone here in the 5th end. Trailing 3-2 without hammer. Asking Kyra to try and carve it. It's a
Yeah, they're going to get enough of it.
thin piece.
Get that a little on the wide side, Kevin. With that kind of weight, it just wouldn't recover. Good opportunity here for the Millais team now to draw number 2 and undercover.
So Sarah Millais is at 75% through 4 ends. So overall, both team percentages are tied for both teams, 75%.
Yeah, Sarah has hammer here, so if she can draw into that center guard in the top 4 foot, she's going to put some pressure on Justine. Over on sheet 3, the Crawford rink took 1 1/5 to go up 3-2 after 5 ends against the Quillian team from Curl Moncton.
Well, Sarah Millais cleaning the rock, getting ready to deliver her first stone here in the fifth end. Trying to set up her deuce. The line looks good on this one, Terry. It's all about the weight.
It's a little wide, but it should finish up reasonably well in the end. Here it comes. Decent shot, Kevin. I don't think there's a double there. I think it curled enough that they can't get enough to the inside of that rock to get the double, but they can hit and stick or hit and roll in front of the other rock slightly to sit shot.
So Justine Comeau and Lea Thompson talking about how they want to hit this rock. This is Justine Comeau's last stone here in the fifth end.
Yes, it is. Sarah has hammer.
The winner of this New Brunswick Scotties will go on to the Nationals February 15th to 23rd in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. So Justine going through her pre-shot routine. You'll see the competitive players, so I'll use the same routine before every shot. Just be mentally prepared. So sweepers, Erica trying to carve this.
Yeah, looks like they're going to clip that top rock and spill out. Give Sarah. Luckily, she didn't jam that red on the back 12 foot, so Sarah now has a draw for 2.
And this is the draw she just made.
This is a very big draw. It would put her up 3 after 5 ends if she can make it up 5-2, so we'll see how she makes out.
You're watching the New Brunswick Scotties Tournament of Hearts, brought to you by 360 Live, powered by Bell Alliant. How's your split look there, Terry?
392 in that one, Kevin. It should be good.
The sweepers like it, just keeping it clean.
She threw a 79 in the last end. It went to the back 8 foot, so this is pretty close to the tee line with the 392 split, which is around a 24-second draw in the old measurement standards from hog line to tee. So she takes her 2-ender and goes up 5-2 after 5 ends for Sarah Millais over Justine Comeau.
So the teams are going to take a 5-minute break, and as will we, and we'll see you back here in 5 minutes. Millais with a little roll. So Sarah Millais is going to ask Kathleen to remove the stone. Kathleen's dad, Mark Ward, is the coach for Team Millais.
Another hit and stick attempt here by the Millais team on Justine's yellow stone just off the 8-foot, Kevin.
It's important to stick around here too and not give Justine a free pass to go around that corner, which looks is going to happen here. So now Comeau team gets to take advantage of that corner guard.
Yep, good opportunity here, Kevin, for her to draw into this corner guard into the top 8-foot and sit shot.
So good patience here from Justine Comeau. There's a little discussion on Lea's last shot as to whether to go around the corner then or play the hit, and Justine says, "Let's play the hit, clean the rings up a little bit. We'll get an opportunity to use that corner."
Yeah, they've shown good patience here because they just need 2 to get right back into this game.
So Erica Clough with the draw. The sweepers are just watching this one.
Nice weight, but they didn't quite get the line they were hoping for, but it's behind the tee line, so Sarah hits and sticks that. It'll be a good rock to freeze right on top of. Looks like she wants to freeze herself, so she's going to leave it in play. So they better be a little careful here. Anytime you leave rocks in the rings when the other team's got the hammer, you're taking a bit of a risk.
Especially with that corner in play there. The Comeau team could think a couple more around there. So Kathleen Ward trying to play the freeze here.
This is a little warm and a little wide. It has to dig in for them. So they got shot rock out of that. There might be number 2 as well, but rocks behind the tee line. Lots for Justine to work with here.
Yeah, so advantage team Comeau right now with hammer. The corner guard and all these catchers behind the tee line. So Erica Clough with her second.
Yeah, Justine's got some opportunities here. These rocks behind the tee line to score.
Well, Brusher's working this one hard. Trying to squeak this by that guard. Here it comes. Oh, and they just get it by.
Yeah, top ring, but unfortunately Raider's sitting 2, so.
I think Kathleen Ward just indicated Red's sitting 2.
Yeah, Sarah's going to attempt to draw one to the top 8-foot and protect that shot rock just off the 4-foot on the back.
So Sarah Millais with her first rock here in 6th end. She does have a 3-point lead. She's without hammer here.
Over on sheet 3, that game continues to be a battle. It's tied up 3-3 now between Quilliam and Crawford. Quilliam took 1 in the 6, and it's a fairly wide open game. Neither team is really prepared to take a big risk. They're playing it quite clean and being a little conservative. They're going to take that game right down to the end by the looks of things, Kevin.
Yeah, and both teams are going to advance to the playoffs. Just a matter of what the playoff seeding is going to be. So both that game on sheet 3 and our feature game here on sheet 4 have playoff implications. So Sarah,
she's coming in, but she's coming deep.
A little hot.
So Justine has quite a nice wall to draw to there. Depending on what angle she can create, she has a very good opportunity to score two.
Yeah, so Justine Comeau, her first rock here in the 6th end. She has hammer. You're watching the New Brunswick Scotties Tournament of Hearts, brought to you by 360 Live, powered by Bell Alliant.
Terry Roach here with Kevin Kyle.
Another great day at the curling rink here, Terry.
Certainly is, Kevin.
Great curling and a lot on the line here, as you can just feel the excitement in the air. So come on down to Riverside.
Doug McDonald just walked in and added some color to our spectators. As he always does.
Yeah, Doug McDonald, proud supporter of Loudmouth Pants. So that comes a little heavy behind the tee line.
Yep, Sarah's going to blast that, but she has to be very careful.
So they're taking ice on the center line here, Terry. I don't think she's playing a lot of weight here. Just trying to tap that back. Can't see the rocks from our angle here.
Yeah, no, she's certainly taking lots of ice, so she must be playing it quieter.
So Sarah Millais with her last shot here in the 6th end. Yeah, so just trying to get to the inside of this and tap it back. The outside of it. Sorry. So Jody's solo working this, trying to get it by those top ones. Looks like they're by.
Yeah, I think she's...
Good looking shot. And punches it right through the hole.
Yeah, she played that very well. Very well.
Yeah, great shot there from Sarah.
So Justine now has a draw for one.
So mission accomplished, I think, for Team Millais. Team Millais be happy with that. They got the force here in the 6th end at worst. Justine drawing against 4 with lots of backing back there. So.
Yeah, down 2 after 6. If Justine makes this shot without hammer, she's going to have to do some gambling to create some scoring opportunities the next few ends. She wants to pull this game off.
So Justine Comeau here with a clutch draw here in the 6th end. Facing 4 opposition stones.
Certainly going to be here, Kevin. I wouldn't be sweeping it for weight, just they have to be careful of their line.
I have to be careful here. That's kind of...
Oh, that's a fine shot.
Great
very
shot.
very nicely played by Justine to get her one. Puts her down 5-3 after 6 ends against Sarah Millais. Here at the Riverside Country Club in Rothesay, New Brunswick. New Brunswick Scotties Tournament of Hearts. Playing to get to the National Championships in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan, the 15th of February.
It'll be sunny and warm in Moose Jaw that time of year, won't it, Terry?
I'm not quite sure.
New Brunswick Curling would like to thank its partners, Kruger Products, Maker of Scotties, Papa John's Pizza, Sims Home Hardware, and the province of New Brunswick. Yeah, so have your Papa John's Pizza for breakfast or lunch, and then head on down to the Riverside Country Club for some great curling. I've just been handed our stats through 6 ends. So Kyra Kyra McLaughlin getting ready to throw for Team Comeau. She's at 90% through 6 ends, so strong game from Kyra.
As I mentioned earlier, there's a big battle on sheet 3 with the Quillian team and the Crawford team. They're tied at 3-3 going into the 7th, and it's another clean end. No guards in play at all. Andrea Crawford's throwing a hit against one raid on just biting the 8-foot.
And Kyra throws that high guard after getting the commentating jinx, of course. So Jane Boyle getting ready to throw Team Millais. She's at 73% through 6 ends. A little lower than we expect to see out of Jane, but I expect those numbers are going to come up before this game is over. Starting on her next shot.
Yes, a little deep on that one for Jane, unfortunately. Actually went through the ring, so Justine will now come into the top 4-foot. I would tend to throw up another guard if I were in her shoes, but I'm sure they'll keep that in mind as the option if they don't quite make the ideal call.
Yeah, with that guard so high, it's not really usable.
No.
Looks like she is asking for it short. So Kyra McLaughlin with her second stone here. And that's going to go to the 4-foot. So Jane Boyle with her second stone here, playing 7.
Looking for a freeze in that rock in the top 8-foot. Long guard, it should be quite achievable.
So the sweepers are just watching this one curl in. Right to the button.
Yep, came around it.
Good shot there by Jane. So Lea Thompson getting set to throw for Team Comeau. Lea Thompson's at 75% through 6 ends. So trying to freeze down to that stone that was just thrown by Team Millais.
Lots of room here, Kevin. It depends on the weight, and it looks like it might be just a bit warm. It's going to slip to the back 8-foot.
So Sarah asking for top 12 corner freeze on that yellow stone.
Looks like they've called a timeout here, Kevin. Some discussion by one of the coaches with the teams. We're not sure who at this point.
So it's Team Millais throwing, so it'd be their timeout. So it must have came from Mark Ward, Kathleen's dad, is coach for Team Millais. Mark Ward's a long-time junior coach here in New Brunswick. So he's going to go down to the other end, have a look. So typically on a timeout, when the coach wants to go down to the other end, they'll give the teams a little extra time for the coach to get down there. So we're just waiting here. Coach Ward and the official are having a little conversation. So I guess they're waiting for the other coach, Coach Comeau. Typically, when a timeout is called, both coaches get to go out. So it's common practice to wait for the other coach to come out the ice before you start talking to your team. And
Yeah, I'm sure the Millais team wants to take a little time to think about their strategy here because.
yeah, I think Coach Ward wants to peel off this guard.
Yeah, I agree because Justine desperately needs to steal, and that center guard is the enemy of the Millais team without question.
Yeah. So the original call was a draw into the 12-foot corner freeze under that yellow one in the 8-foot. So with the 5-3 lead with hammer, they're going to play the defensive shot.
As they should, with a 2-point lead going into the 7th with hammer.
So Jody DeSola will be asked to peel.
Over on sheet 3, Andrea Crawford took 1 in the 7th. She now leads that game 4-3. So those teams continue to be in a head-to-head competition.
Yeah.
A couple more rocks in play now than they've played the last few ends, with a couple of corner and the center guard up. So we'll give you an update on that game after the end of the 8th end. Nice peel here by Jody.
And Jody at 83% through 6 ends. So Justine's going to ask for that guard to go back up. So Lea Thompson being asked to replace that guard. So Lea at 75% through 6 ends. So both teams have used 1 timeout and each have 1 timeout remaining. So both timeouts have come from the coaches from behind the glass.
Very nice place center guard by Jody. Now Sarah's going to try and remove that again and keep the front open. Good looking line on his peel.
So Jane trying to carve that out to make sure the shooter rolls away.
Yep, very nice shot by Jody.
Yeah, 2 nice peels. Certainly skill set you want your second stone to have to be able to make those peels.
Another center guard coming up here. They'll play center guards right to the end, and then they'll make their move on that red stone.
So Erica Clough. Erica's at 83% through 6 ends.
Good shot there. Sarah's looking at another draw, which... No, she's going to do the peel, which is probably what the coach would want, again, to keep it open.
Yeah, and that'd be a situation where I think in the post-game meeting the coach would said call the timeout to peel guard, so maybe a bit too soon with the mate's first stone to start going in the rings. So nice peel there from Kathleen Ward. So Kathleen is at 75% through 6 ends. So Erica Clough being asked to replace the guard.
With that yellow stone in front of that red, which they need to remove sometime in the end, the Comeau team, that yellow can be used to bump it up, hit it, or they've got the in-turn draw option. So they've got a couple of ways to get at that red shot rock, Kevin.
Yeah, so the Millais team has to be careful here.
Sarah's had that shot in mind the whole end, and I still would keep peeling if it was me, but she thinks that's going to be their best defense to keep.
Yeah, she's worried about that yellow-red rays.
Yeah, no, the team is communicating from both ends of the ice, and they still want to keep peeling, which is the best thing, in my opinion, to do.
Let the Comeau team make a play there first.
Yeah, exactly. One little slip on a draw, and the Comeau team could remove that red with a little bump or a chip, and next thing you know, you're in big trouble for a possible steal. So, good peel there.
Yeah, so 4 peels made in a row there by Team Millais. So now we're down to Skips Rocks. Justine Comeau with her first shot here in the 7th end. She's trailing by 2. She's without hammer. You're watching the New Brunswick Scotties Tournament of Hearts, brought to you by 360 Live, powered by Bell Liant. I'm Kevin Kyle, and with me is Terry Roach. Coming to you from the Riverside Country Club. So Justine is at 65% through 6 ends.
Nice line in this guard attempt. Got it dig in a little bit and curl to the center line. Didn't quite work out for them because that took away their advance opportunity of the yellow in front of the red. It could have been a really good option for them.
Yeah, so they're staggered. So Sarah with hammer, getting ready to play her first stone. Sarah's at 79% through 6 ends. Little discussion going on here. Jane Boyle's going to come down and offer up some advice. It's a tricky situation here for Team Millais. I think she's worried about if they bring another one down in there and set up any type of double or play for Team Comeau, then Sarah could be looking at a pile of yellow rocks.
Absolutely.
On her last shot.
I would almost be tempted to throw a guard up on my red just off the center line on the left-hand side, and there's no way Justine can get to it because of those staggered yellows up front, and then secure my single point to go back up 3 points after 7 ends.
Yeah, that was the indication, I think, from Sarah. I think that's what she kind of likes. Yeah, so they're just going to throw this short of the rings, try to protect that one red.
Yeah. It's a big point at this stage of the game. It keeps you in good control.
I can't tell from this angle, Terry. Are those 2 yellow rocks touching? Is there a drag run back on those yellows?
They're not touching, Kevin. They're probably 4 inches apart. Our cameraman just gave us a better view of that end of the sheet.
I'd like to thank Lauren Webster, our cameraman, doing a great job here.
Excellent job, Lauren. Getting some good positive feedback from our fans, watching all the draws online.
Yeah, so just trying to get this tight on the center line.
It's hanging out there, but I think it'll block the path when it finishes up, which is the main goal. Yeah, it did exactly what they wanted, and unfortunately, because of Justine's last shot, coming in a little deep on her top yellow, She cannot get at that red, so
Yeah, she's looking. I think she thinks that that drag might be there. The striking bands on these rocks here at Riverside are pretty rough. They're really rough and great for making drag shots. So it looks like they're going to look at that run back.
well, if they could pull it off, just hit it off nose on the broom side and clip out that red in the back, it would put some pressure on Sarah to get her 1. Facing 3.
Well, so Coach Comeau doesn't like this call. He's going to use his second time out here. So both coaches will come out and talk with their teams. So Coach Comeau feels this is an important part of the game that could change the complexion. So I guess they do have the option to draw around that red guard, do they not, Terry?
The jury is out on that one, Kevin. There might be some room there.
But even if you get the number 2, you won't give up the deuce.
No, it's true, but you're going to be down 3.
If you try this run back, you're probably, if you don't make it, you're probably giving up the automatic deuce.
That's for sure. But if it might be at this stage of the game, they're down 2. They could play that run back, clip off the red on the back. It could create a turning point in the game.
So it looks like they've made their decision. So Lea Thompson, the mate, is going to go down with the skip, and they're going to talk about what ice they want to take here.
Lots of rocks in play here on sheet 3 in the Quilliam-Crawford game. Quilliam is playing an in-turn draw to a shot rock of the Crawford team at the back of the button. It's a 4-3 game.
So it looks like they're gonna stay with this run back.
Yeah, I kind of like it, Kevin. I know it's a bit of a gamble, but if they can pull it off, it could be a great opportunity for them. Just off nose on the broom side.
So Justine Cohn with her last rock here in the 7th end.
It looks just a little on the outside.
Without hammer.
That didn't work out for them. She fired it a bit wide with that kind of weight. Had to hit a lot more of the rock just off nose to pull off that.
So Sarah Millais with the draw here to hit full 8, close to 4 foot, give her a deuce. Sarah Millais with a win here today. It's going to force a tiebreaker situation.
Which is really big. Once you're in the tiebreakers, anything can happen in these provincial championships. If you get on a bit of a roll after winning this game, if they do pull it off.
And the Millais team would be in that tiebreaker.
Good looking weight here to get her 2.
Yeah, great draw there from Sarah Millais. Take her deuce. Take a 7-3 lead after 7 ends. Still lots of curling left here.
Absolutely.
Comeau team will just be looking to get their deuce back here in 8. Be right back in it.
Little update in sheet 3, Kevin. Lots of rocks in play. Andrea Crawford is sitting shot just off the button. A lot of guards out front, and she's going to put another guard up to try and block Sylvia Quilliam from getting in to score. If she can do that, she'll go up 5-3 in this game after 8 ends. Sylvie really doesn't have a lot of options for a well-placed guard here, but we'll see how it works out.
So Jane Boyle leading it off for Team Millais here in the 8th end. The 4-point lead. You're watching the New Brunswick Scotties Tournament of Hearts, brought to you by 360 Live, powered by Bell Alliant.
We're going to show the final shot here in sheet 3 of the Quilliam game against Andrea Crawford. It's a big game. Quilliam team is trying to figure out a way to run one of those guards in and try and remove that yellow off the button. Try and score their point and tie the game up after 8 ends. We'll finish this end, get you back to the feature game in a minute here, folks. Andrea Crawford is 4-0. Sylvia Quilliam is 3-1, so it's a big game.
Yeah, Team Crawford trying to punch her ticket right through to the final.
Looks like the Quilliam team have selected which guard they're going to try and run in. The angle is just there, I think. We're going to soon find out. She has to hit all of the rock that she can see just past that top red rock and angle it into the 4-foot. She does have number 2 at the back 4.
So the Crawford team with a loss and a Team Comeau win would find themselves in a semifinal. However, if the Crawford wins, they will be in the final game, 2 o'clock on Sunday.
Quilliam rock is on its way. Calling the sweepers on. It looks like it's over curled, Kevin. They're not going to pull that off. Andrea Crawford steals one after 8 ends and goes up 5-3 over Sylvie Quilliam. 2 ends left to go.
Wow, this is just like TSN getting updates on the other sheets.
Absolutely. Well, our cameraman, Mr. Webster, just is doing an outstanding job in expanding the viewing opportunities of our fans at home.
So in our feature game, Kyra McLaughlin, she got the corner guard up and is trying to come around. Just comes up a bit short. So Jody DeSola being asked to come around here.
Going to get a little tap on this.
Nice little tap up there from Jody DeSola. I think with that ice, that was actually probably the call they were making to make that tap. So Lea Thompson getting ready to throw here in the 8th end.
Yeah, they're coming quite wide on this to try and get to the back, get back to this red stone, Kevin. Looks a little soft, this rock. I don't think they're going to have the weight.
A little bounce off there. That'll pretty much close off that side. So Sarah Millais asking for the come around here. Jody DeSola.
Good looking draw coming in here, Kevin, underneath that center guard.
Yeah, so Jane Boyle trying to carve it under.
Top ring is fine.
Yeah, controls top of the house.
You don't want it deep for something for the Comeau team to come down and play a freeze against or get shot.
So it looks like Justine's going to have to call on the big left-hander again to come in and mop things up here. Lea Thompson just being asked to clean up that front.
Quite the movement they're hoping for. They've still left that red at the top of the rings, or left a red at the top of the rings.
Looks like Sarah's calling for the tap up on that one, on that red.
Not a lot of ice.
That's kind of, I think that red is in a really good place for Sarah. There's a danger here if you just split it and open things up. I would like to see just a straight come around. It's one of those shots, great if you made it, but it's also a chance you could just chip it wide open.
I think they're looking pretty good here, as long as they don't tap it too deep.
Yeah, nice shot.
They've kept it under the guard, didn't get bumped into the open.
A little deep though, behind T line.
It is a little deep. Justine has lots of 4 foot to work with to come around that.
So that could come back to bite them. So Erica Clough being asked to draw in there.
Lots of room on this at this point.
So Kyra Mclaughlin just trying to carve it in there. Nice weight there from Erica Clough.
It's fairly open though.
There is a jam possibility now with that rock behind the tee line.
There is.
Good. So it looks like she's going to play a run back on that top red. She could make a play on that Yellowstone and hopefully try to get rid of the red one at the back as well. So going to try and play the run back here. Kathleen Ward.
Going to over curl Kevin. They're not going to get the angle they hoped for, but they will open it up. But that gives Justine a chance to draw number 2 and a freeze on that one of those 2 red stones off the 4 foot.
Yeah, she's got a pile of corner guards out there. And so Erica Clough. So another draw attempt to round those corners. Come down and freeze on that red. Team Comeau with the hammer. Justine has the sweepers on this right out of her hand.
Yeah, it's a little on the. I don't think it's going to clear those guards, Kevin. It's coming over, curling right into the corner guards. So that's a disappointing miss for them because they had a good opportunity to get number 2 in there.
Yeah,
undercover.
Missed opportunity. Sarah has a chance now to remove that Yellowstone.
Sheet 3, we've got one Crawford rock in the rings on the 8-foot, and Andrew's attempting to peel a corner guard, trying to keep it as open as possible to defend against Quilliam multiple point scoring. Successful peel by Jen Armstrong. It's wide open with one Crawford rock in the rings.
So Sarah Millais in our feature game here, trying to eliminate that Comeau stone in the 4-foot. Jody trying to hold this one. And they just squeak it by, and it misses everything.
Wow. Justine's going to have that chance to draw number 2 in again. 2 would keep her within grasp of the game at 7-5 if she can complete it.
So Deuce is back in play here for Team Comeau. Justine with her first here with hammer. Team Millais had a chance here to close the door, but it's wide open now, Terry.
Certainly is.
Justine Comeau.
She's got a lot of weight, Kevin. She's going to need backing.
Down.
She might chip her yellow and just roll over slightly. As long as she chips it thin, doesn't tap it back too much. That's going to work out fine. I think, yeah, just held on for number 2. Worked out well.
Yeah, down 4. She really needs to get 2 in this end. So Sarah Millais is going to try and hit and flop over. Make it difficult for Team Comeau to score. And I don't think Sarah Millais would mind giving up 2 here. Just doesn't want to give up 3.
It's not disastrous. You know, you're still up 2 with hammer going into the 9th, but you have to be careful.
Just want to make sure you get rid of this stone. That's job 1. So they're close. Jane Boyle trying to carve this over. Gets the roll.
Wow, that's a fine roll.
Great shot.
That is a fine shot. It's going to be very difficult for Justine to try and push that back and get 2, even get 1.
Team Comeau's used both their timeouts. So all Coach Comeau can do is sit back and be a spectator. So Justine looks with that ice. She's just going to make the cold draw a tap.
That's all she has, Kevin. But Sarah put that red roll right into the perfect spot. Justine can't do a thing with it. Cold draw to the button for 1.
Important draw here for Justine Comeau. Here in the 8th end, down 4. This is the hammer. Justine calls him off right away. I don't think she likes the weight.
I don't think it's too bad,
no,
Kevin.
It looks good from here.
Just got to dig a little bit. That's a fine draw.
Great draw.
Great draw for 1. Very impressive.
Yeah. Nice clutch shot there.
Puts her down 7-4 after 8 ends.
keeps her hopes alive. You're watching the New Brunswick Scotties Tournament of Hearts, brought to you by 360 Live, powered by Bell Alliance. I'm Kevin Kyle, with me is Terry Roach. Coming to you from the Riverside Country Club in Rothesay, New Brunswick. Well, it's been a great game so far, Terry.
Absolutely, Kevin. The teams have mixed it up all game and created lots of good shots and good entertainment for our curling fans. Over on sheet 3, that battle continues. Sylvie Quilliam is drawing her first stone down to a Crawford yellow stone just behind the tee line, just off the forefoot, to try and get a frozen shot rock. She's gambling to try and get her 2 instead of hitting and going for a blank.
On sheet 2, Team Levesque stole 2 in the 8th end, so they now have a 6-5 lead over Team Cousins. With those two teams each trying to finish out the tournament with a win. So Kyra Mclaughlin with the guard. The guard's up. Kyra's curling 89% through 8 ends. And Sarah asking Jane to play the tick shot here.
Oh.
Jane at 61%.
Let's see if Jane can pull this off. It's a great weapon to have of a lead stone that can tick those center guards off to the sides. Well, she looks like she's got a pretty decent shot here, Kevin.
Yeah, has a great shot. Justine trying to sweep it out of play.
Wow.
And it just gets to the sideline.
Almost. Great attempt by Jane on that shot. If she hit it a quarter of an inch thinner, it would have been just perfect. Andrea Crawford on sheet 3 just hit and rolled out, so she's given Sylvie Quilliam a wide open hit to roll away and blank the end, being down 2 to keep hammering the 10th end. So let's see if she can capitalize on this opportunity.
In our game, Kyra McLaughlin just trying to put up the second guard. They got the long guard, so now Terry, they'll try and get one tight in a straight line so as not to leave any double peel. And that just slips into the rings. So Sarah will be able to take a shot at that if she wants to, but she decided to ask Jane Ball to come into the rings. So Jane Boyle with the intern come around. You don't want to be light here and leave a guard.
No, they don't. Quilliam just hitting stuck in the 9th to take one. She'd hoped to blank, so she's now down 5-4 against Andrea Crawford coming into the 10th end. Andrea has hammer coming home.
And with a victory there, Team Crawford will get the bye into tomorrow's final at 2 p.m. So with the Millais win, we will have a tiebreaker game for you here at 2 p.m. today. And then we'd have the semifinals tonight at 7 p.m. So Lea Thompson trying to come around here. So it's going a little deep. She's going to slide to the back 8.
Not exactly where they'd hope, but any rocks in the rings that Sarah has to face at this point gives them hope for some steals, which they badly need now, being down 3.
So Leah's at 73% through the 8 ends. While Jody DeSola is being asked to make the peel here. And shooter doesn't roll out, so still rock in play there.
Justine's going to throw up some guards, and she's got a couple in the ring, so.
So Jody was at 88% through 8 ends. Lea Thompson at 73%. So Lea's being asked to put up another guard. So shaping up to be a good end here, a good opportunity for the Comeau team. Lots of rocks out front.
Yes, they want to put some pressure on Sarah and make her earn this win if she wants to cap off this game.
So Jody and Sola being asked to make another peel here. It's an important peel here, Terry. This peel's not made if...
They're all important at this point, Kevin, to keep those rings open. If not, Justine will keep piling them in there.
Yeah, another great peel there from Jody. Justine Comeau asking for Erica Clough to replace the guard.
Yeah, they can just keep throwing them up, and they've got a couple of rocks in the rings to work with in the very end if they can't get a guard to stay.
Yeah, at the very least, Justine will be able to use that yellow rock in the top 12 as a guard. Maybe force Millais into some type of run back.
Absolutely. Over curled a bit, that rock. Would have been nice to have it a little more on the center line or on the right side of the center line side, but
Sarah's looking at peeling this guard. There's an opportunity to take that rock off the top. I don't think this guard is really hurting Team Millais all that much.
they'd love to hit the broom side of that rock and slice it onto the rock on the top 12 foot and spill everything, Kevin, and completely open it up. That would be.
Yeah, and with Kathleen Ward in the hack, we said earlier, Kathleen Ward's a big. She can make those big shots. So Kathleen is at 75% through the 8 ends. She's just going to make the straight peel.
Yep, straight peel.
Yeah, I thought that just gives Team Comeau a chance to throw a better guard.
Yeah, I agree.
With that guard that was on the left side of the center line, the whole side of the rings were open. So Erica Clough being asked to put up a center guard.
Over curl, well, slightly over curl, but it's not in a horrible spot.
There's
Still something Sarah has to deal with, in my opinion.
Yeah, she's got a piece of the center line this time.
Interesting end developing on sheet 3. Quilliam has got a long center guard up. Shot rock at the top of the button. Andrew's got number 2 at the top 8 foot, and Quilliam's going to call up another guard, so early in the ends, they're setting up a possible steal opportunity to tie the game.
So Kathleen Ward being asked to get rid of that guard.
This rock is really curling, but they do have a piece of it.
Check that started a little.
I think so.
Just on the release, turned it in a bit. So down to Skip's Rocks, Justine's first one. So now she's decided it's time to come in.
If she can bring one under that rock on the top 12 foot and half bury it, show Sarah a piece. Should be sitting 3. Sarah's going to have to be careful.
Yeah, it could have Sarah Millais looking at a couple of yellow stones here in the rings when she gets up to throw her last. So Justine Comeau with her first stone here in the 9th end. Oh.
Justine's draw coming in here, Kevin. Line's good. Weight just a bit heavy maybe just to get behind the tee, which... No, it's a pretty decent shot. No, very nice shot. She's got that button weight still in her back pocket. Sarah's just going to blast the top rock, which I think is a good play.
Yeah, that's the trouble rock.
She can split one of the back ones off and get rid of the rock in the top 12 foot. She'd be very happy.
So Sarah Millais with her first rock here in the ninth end. She does have hammer. Gonna try and run this rock back. Clean this mess up. Sarah Millais with 3-point lead here, playing the ninth. Needs a win to keep her playoffs hopes alive.
This rock is going, Kevin. I think she's going to get the top rock, but not the size she had hoped.
She'll get the straight peel.
Okay. Good opportunity for Justine here. If she can throw one top 12 foot right in line with those two yellows on the back, it's going to create a possible steal opportunity of one or more points.
Yeah, the steal at 2 is certainly in play. And that would get her within 1 to play in the final end. Justine Comeau with her last rock here in the ninth end. Trying to guard up her rock in the 4 foot.
Nice line on this, Kevin. She just comes into the top 12. It looks like it might be just a smidgen warm. She doesn't want to come on top of those rocks, which unfortunately I think she's done. She would have loved to have that rock 2.5 feet higher. But still, Sarah has to be careful here.
Yeah, I think Sarah can make the double here. If she hits the inside of that top stone, likely give up 1 here, Terry, but that's not the end of the world.
No.
A chance here for her to get rid of 2 of these yellow stones. Sarah Millais with hammer here in the ninth end. Big shot against 3 Comeau stones. Trying to advance into a tiebreaker game with a victory.
Steal of 2, Kevin.
Wow. So just hit that one on the wrong side. And Comeau team will steal 2. So Team Millais will come home in the 10th end here. 10th and final end. Up 1 with hammer. Of course, if Comeau team does steal 1 here, we will go to an extra end.
Certainly adds a lot of excitement to this game, Kevin. Justine's now down 1 coming home. Anything can happen now with that steal of 2.
You're watching the New Brunswick Scotties Tournament of the Hearts, brought to you by 360 Live, powered by Bell Alliant. I'm Kevin Connell, with me is Terry Roach, bringing you action from the Riverside Country Club. This is the final draw of the round robin. So after this draw, we'll know the playoff situation. Team Millais must win in order to advance into a tiebreaker game at 2 p.m.
Very interesting finish here, Kevin, on sheet 3 as well. Quilliam has a rock at an ideal position at the top of the button. Andrea has 1 top 8 foot, and there's a center guard up that's well positioned just off the center line. So Andrea is working hard to defend and try and put this game to bed, but the Quilliam team is in a pretty good steal position here right now.
So Kyra Mclaughlin gets the long guard up. Leaves lots of room for the second guard to come closer on our next shot. Kyra's at 89% through 9 ends. Jane Boyle now playing, coming around to the top 4. Jane Boyle at 57% through 9 ends. And nice shot here, right to the top 4. So Justine Comeau asking Kyra now to put this rock tight to the rings on the center line.
Sheet 3, the Quilliam team are calling up another center guard to try and defend their shot rock on the button, just to try and keep you folks up to date on both games, because they're both big games in the afternoon or the morning draw here at the Riverside Country Club.
Yeah, both games have playoff implications. Team Crawford with a win will go right to the final tomorrow at 2 p.m. And then Team Quilliam's fate would be determined by the outcome of our game here on sheet 4. So Quilliam and Comeau will advance to the playoffs. Team Millais trying to win this game and get themselves into it. So the top 3 advance to the playoffs, with top team going right through to the final. So a Millais win here forces a situation where it would be a tiebreaker to determine third place. So Jane Boyle brings another one into the rings.
Yeah, Justine's got a couple of nice guards out front.
Yeah, Kyra McLaughlin's had a strong game, and so 100% this end with the game on the line.
Andrea Crawford on sheet 3 is peeling that guard that Sylvie Quilliam just threw up. Just to keep you updated there.
So Lea Thompson trying to come around here.
He's got some weight on this, Kevin. It's got to do some digging. If it curls into that red for a little chip or a tap, it'll be okay, but it's got to do some curling, and I think it's going to just curl enough to get a piece.
So just got a thin piece.
Maybe in the last shot.
So Jody DeSola is being asked to remove this. She indicated a little roll here. I think Terry should be better off if it just rolled right out of the rings.
I agree. I agree, Kevin.
So she doesn't want any rocks behind the tee line here, and
we're going to look at it a little closer. We'll give you an update. Sylvie Quilliam is throwing her last rock without hammer here in the 10th end. Yeah. She's going to replace the guard that Andrea just removed.
Yeah, well, I think with that rock behind the tee line, and it is number 2, that there's an opportunity for the guards to come off. So I don't know if this timeout was probably called by Coach Ward, and he's going to ask them to peel off that top center guard.
Sheet 3, Quilliam just threw up another good guard. Andrea's got to make a choice here. It looks like she's going to try and run her top yellow, which is just open, the top 8-foot, into the red rock on the button to end the game, if she can get a piece of that red sitting at the top of the button. Timing's worked out well for sheet 4 to take a break, so we can show the fans the finishing shot here by Andrea Crawford on sheet 3 to see how this game finishes. She's 4-0, and she hopes to remain undefeated with a successful shot here to get that red off the 4-foot and win the game, because she has a 5-4 lead.
Jennifer Armstrong holding the broom here for Andrea Crawford.
Well, they're calling her on it. It's going.
Jill Babin working this hard to get it by.
Can they hold the line?
Working it hard to try and get it by. She just gets it by.
And she's made the shot to win the game. Fabulous shot by Andrea Crawford to get 2 and win the game. Just papered the guard and removed that red rock off the forefoot to put the game to bed.
So Andrea Crawford will advance to the final. A perfect 5-0 record here in the round robin. Our game is back in play, and Coach Ward has asked Team Millais to play the peel. And Jody makes both those yellow guards go away, so there's just a high guard left. So that was a bit of a bonus. So Justine asking for another guard to be put up. So again, another key timeout called by a coach in this game. That's twice in this game, Terry, where we see the coach make a call that really changed the end around.
Absolutely. Well, those two coaches both have a ton of experience, and they've picked some good times to come out and help their teams correct some decision-making choices that have worked out for them.
Yeah, so both teams have used up all their timeouts.
That's a fine shot there by Justine's team, that corner freeze. They also have that yellow over to the side of the forefoot, so Sarah has to be very careful here. Justine's team are placing some nice rocks to create opportunities. And they're only down 1 now after being down 4 at one time in the game.
So Jody DeSola being asked to make another peel. Well, it looks like she's going to jam this one. And
well,
it's not a bad result.
It's not horrible because the forefoot is open, but Justine is sitting 2. We'll just have to see how the guards are placed and positioned for the next couple of shots.
Well, that corner freeze situation that Team Comeau had was going to be trouble for Team Millais. So being able to release that is, I think, is a bonus.
Another guard attempt by the Comeau team. They'd like this tight center to the rings on the center line.
Yep, so Erica Clough being asked to throw up the center. And well done there by Erica. Splits the center line.
Yep. Justine has access to the forefoot on both turns. She currently sits 2.
So it's going to try and play the double here, make these both go away.
Yeah. Well, the thing about this is no matter what she does, I am expecting Justine to ignore those rocks and come right in under those guards to the top forefoot. Try and get at least 1 point. And they could even steal the game. Who knows? They've got the opportunity depending on how things work out here.
And mission accomplished there. So the red stone is top of the 8-foot is now shot rock. Justine does have the center guard to come around.
Oh, absolutely. She's got good opportunity here.
So Sarah Millais taking off a little bit of the pressure here. So Erica Clough trying to come around. Brusher's working this one hard. Kyra McLaughlin and Lea Thompson. And it just rubs off.
Yeah, it was just a hair short. It was looking good all the way, but it just died in the very end. Another 3 feet of weight, and they would have loved that shot.
So Sarah trying to decide whether she's going to peel or whether she's going to try and come in first. So she's decided to get rid of this top stone. Kathleen Ward. Trying to make this stone go away. Jane Boyle working the brush.
Not quite what they'd hoped for. Justine still has lots of opportunity to get into the 4-foot. To try and steal a point or two, you couldn't really ask for a much better situation than this, Kevin.
No, and there might be a chance for her to get her second one in there too, if Sarah Millais not careful. So Justine Comeau with her first stone here in the 10th end, trailing one.
Justine's had the T-line weight in her back pocket the last 2 or 3 ends, so if she keeps that, it's a nice weapon to have.
Justine guaranteed a tiebreaker, at the very least, even with a loss. With the win, Comeau would play Team Quillian in the semifinal tonight at 7 o'clock.
She might have overthrown this one a bit, Kevin.
Oh. That's unfortunate.
No, it's a surprise because she's been bang on the last 3 or 4 draws. The good news is she still has both sides of the center line to get to that 4-foot to get shot, depending on what Sarah does here. Either an in-turn or an out-turn.
So Sarah's going to try and get there first with her first shot here in the 10th end. Trying to punch her ticket into the tiebreaker. So with the win for Team Millais would play Team Quillian in the tiebreaker, and Team Comeau would go into would automatically make it to the semifinal by virtue of the draw to the button.
This rock's going to have lots of weight as well, Kevin.
If it's going to be heavy, they might as well take it all the way.
It's going to stay in the rings, but okay, Justine has ample opportunity to put something high in the 4-foot.
Yep. And the broom goes down. That's a call. Out turn, come around. This is the shot she just played. Wouldn't expect her to miss this twice. Oh, Justine trying to make this draw and force this game to an extra end. You're watching the New Brunswick Scotties Tournament of Hearts, brought to you by 360 Live, powered by Bell Alliant. I'm Kevin Kyle. With me is Terry Roach, coming to you from the Riverside Country Club in Rossley, New Brunswick.
A little better weight on this one, Kevin.
Yeah, so Justine with her final stone here in the 10th end. Working it hard.
Line's a little tight. They're going to have to work it and hold the line.
So, Kyra and Erica working it to get it by.
Wow. That's quite a shot, Kevin.
Right to
That's
the
quite
right
a
to
shot.
the button.
That's quite
Yeah.
a shot.
Well, the fans are going crazy here at the Riverside Country Club.
Sarah's got a very fine shot here to put this game away. She's going to have to play a draw tap, just tap it back a foot for the win. Sarah Millais in the hack, ready to throw her shot.
So Jane Boyle, Jody DeSola on the brushes.
Curling hard,
Hard.
Kevin. It's tight to that
They're
guard.
trying to work it by. They're trying to work it
No,
by, and
it's
it's
not
not
going to
going to get
clear.
by.
We have a tie game.
So Team Comeau trying to steal this game away. Steal 2 in the 9th, and a steal here in the 10th of 1. So the teams will take a 2-minute break, and then they'll play an extra end. On sheet 2, Team Levesque and Team Cousins are playing the 10th ends. Both teams are looking for their first win. And in that game, Team Levesque is up. No, I guess it's tied 6-6. In the extra end, both teams will get 1 timeout. You're watching New Brunswick Scotties Tournament of Hearts, brought to you by 360 Live, powered by Bell Alliant. So we have a tie game, 7-7 after 10 ends. So Team Millais does have the hammer, trying to keep their playoff hopes alive. With the win, Team Comeau would advance to the semifinal against Team Quillian. That semifinal will be played tonight at 7 o'clock. We have stats through 10 ends for Team Comeau. Lead Kyra McLaughlin was at 90%, and Jane Boyle was at 60%. Overall, Team Comeau was 79%, Team Millais 75%. So percentages are very close and indicative of the score. So teams are set to throw here in the extra end. So Kyra McLaughlin will throw first.
Yeah, this Comeau team, Kevin, they just wouldn't lay down and die. They were losing 7-3 at one point of this game, and they've taken 4 points in the last 3 ends. Pressure certainly on Team Millais to try and end this game with the hammer.
Yeah, Kyra McLaughlin started off the last 2 ends with perfect guards. The first one high, and then the second one tight to the rings, right on the center line. And they just it just went on from there. So as I said, through the 10 ends, Jane Boyle at 57% and Kyra McLaughlin at 89%. So Jane Boyle being asked to come into the top 4 here in this extra end.
Nice looking shot here by Jane in this shot. Right into the top 4 foot. Pretty well buried under the guard. Nice shot.
So Kyra McLaughlin being asked to throw another guard here. Lea Thompson and Erica Clough working the brushes to get this around and get it tight. And they brush it right to the broom. So another great start to the end by Kyra McLaughlin to set things up.
Exactly.
This lead position is so important to dictate your strategy and your ability to steal. So Jane Boyle asked him to bring another one into the rings here. Some teams might have just thrown this one through, Terry, to just keep things a little clean.
Yeah, absolutely. Because they want to keep it as open as possible.
So let's high in the 12 foot. So now Justine Comeau's gonna ask Lea Thompson to come around and freeze right down to that button, that red rock on the button.
The key here is to keep this rock in play. If they don't get right into the red, at least leave it high in the ring so that they can use it to run it into the red. They don't want to go deep here.
Yeah, regardless
Deep's
of
no good.
Regardless of what happens here, Sarah's going to stand up there and ask Jody Solo to peel off those cards.
Yeah, that's a good rock.
Yeah,
It's very usable. It's not shot, but it could be.
good shot there by Lea.
A little later on in the end. So Justine's got two cracks at getting that red off the 4-foot. They can run the other red in and split them off, or she can play a little draw tap on her in-turn side with that yellow to the button to get shot.
So Sarah was considering taking a shot at that rock in the rings, but has changed her mind here and asked Jody to peel.
Well, I'm sure they had a good chat with their coach a couple of ends ago about peeling these center guards and keeping things open, because if the draws and the taps and the in-ring shots don't work out, then you're going to have a bunch of guards out front that are going to cause you grief in the end.
So true. And both teams do get one timeout in this extra end. So if the coaches see something that they think could be a turning point in the end, we'll see the timeout called. Lea Thompson being asked to put that guard back up. So Leah's at 75% through 10 ends. So the brushers are working this to just get it over the line for a high guard.
It's a little soft, but they've gotten it over, and it could be useful. It is blocking their yellow, and there is a port through the center guard and that red to come right in and get that red off the 4-foot if they get a crack at it.
An opportunity now to peel the center guard.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that center guard, that's tight center, has to go. That's a real problem rock for Sarah.
Yeah, that's the only thing that's hurting them right now. So she's going to ask Jody DeSola to play the outturn peel on this.
It is risky, though. I mean, it's got to go, but there's rocks in the rings that can be catchers if they don't get the line that they're really hoping to get. Jody's a bit out on this. She gave it a little... Oh, she got enough of it. Yep, it worked out fine.
So Jody at 89% through 10 ends. Just made 2 great peels here in a critical situation. So she'll be into the 90s for this game.
Yeah, she's had a very solid game, Jody. A lot of peels.
Yeah.
That's a very valuable strength of a good second stone to be able to get those guards cleared off when you need.
Yeah, so kind of story of the game. Kyra McLaughlin's been throwing up the perfect guards, and then Jody DeSola's been making the perfect peels on them. So Erica Clough replacing that center guard.
Yep, did so nicely. She's covered up their yellow nicely and left the red open. And worked out well.
And so now Kathleen Ward will be asked to make the peel. Kathleen is at 78% through 10 ends. Want to make sure you roll the shooter away. You don't want to leave another guard.
Yeah, good looking shot here.
So Jody trying to sweep that out.
Justine's being very patient, replacing those center guards.
Yep, Erica Clough at 82% through 10 ends. So great game from both thirds.
I'll tell you, this rock is not heavy. They're going to have to work it hard and keep dragging it, Kevin.
Yeah, they don't want this to overcurl.
Worked out fine.
Yeah, nice guard there from Erica Clough.
Yep.
And so Sarah will step up and ask Kathleen Ward to make another peel. Jane Boyle sweeping this, trying to make sure that shooter rolls away.
Yeah, those girls are throwing a lot of nice peels down there, Kevin.
Yes.
Haven't seen any nose or air balls. They've been doing their job every time.
Oh, so timeout's being called timeout by Team Comeau.
Well, it's a critical part of the game in this end, and extra end it is, and they're going to use their coach's experience to have a little input.
Yeah, so we're down to Skip's Rocks here. So Justine Comeau getting ready to play her first stone here in the extra end. Justine has already punched her ticket into the semifinal. Team Millais trying to needs to win in order to force a tiebreaker against Team Quillian. Team Crawford has already advanced to the final, 2 p.m. tomorrow.
Yeah, the record has been 5-0. They went undefeated through the round robin and earned that bye, rightfully so, right into the final, Kevin.
Yeah, trying to advance to the Nationals in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan, February 15th to 23rd. We'll have live coverage here for tiebreakers and semifinals and the finals. And you can always come on down to the Riverside Country Club, see the games live. And if you do, be sure to come up in the booth, say hello.
Looks like they're choosing to make this red go away, Kevin, and hopefully make Sarah face 2. Because if you can sit 2 on her final shot, she has to hit and stick a shot to win. Hit and roll out, you lose. So it's not a bad strategy.
Yeah, so Justine Comeau with her first stone here.
It's going to go. They want to make sure they hang around for number 2. Good looking shot, Kevin.
Yeah, great shot.
Would have liked a little more roll, but they're sitting 2. That was the main objective. Sarah does have a double opportunity there. Excuse me.
It does. They've been looking at hitting that shot stone and flopping over. But
now she's pointing out that double opportunity. You have to hit that quite thin on an out turn. I mean, it's there. It's not a super difficult shot. That's what they're going to go for. If they can get that double, there's a chance it might spin right under that red too, but then Justine's going to have a draw to the other side into the edge of the 4-foot, partially buried, and put some pressure on Sarah in that way.
Yeah, but Sarah would still have a relatively easy draw to the 4-foot for the win. So important shot here for Sarah Millais, trying to stay alive in these New Brunswick Scotties. This is her first shot. She does have hammer. So trying the double here in the extra end.
It's got to do some curling, Kevin.
Yeah, it's got to move a bit. It's close. Jody trying to carve it. Oh.
No. She just put it out a bit on the release. Justine's going to put a center guard up tight to the rings and block off any draw attempt by Sarah. She'd have to play a couple of hit options to try and win.
Comeau with the win. We would not have a tiebreaker, and the semifinals would be Comeau and Quillian tonight at 7 p.m. the Riverside Country Club. So lots of exciting curling left here this weekend.
Here comes Justine's shot to make this guard. If she makes it as per plan, it's going to make it tough. The line looks good, Kevin.
Yeah, they just want to make sure it doesn't overcurl.
I don't think it will. I think it'll curl up perfectly.
Yeah, so nicely done.
Yeah, that's a fine shot.
Nicely done.
Now Sarah does have an out-turn draw to the button, or she's got a tap.
Looks like she likes to tap.
Can certainly put her in a position where she has to make a fine shot to win this game.
And keep her hopes alive for New Brunswick Scotties title. Looking for her first New Brunswick Scotties title.
Oh, timeout called. I think the coach may.
This might have been just timeout just to save time on the clock and not be rushed.
I'd be tempted to come in that hole to that button, Kevin. You just have to barely clear the red rock, but I think it might be a draw tap with perfect weight. It's not an easy shot. Neither one is. I think they just wanted more time for the shot. They're not having any discussion. They've decided they're going to play this tap.
So Sarah Millais trying to keep her hopes alive of advancing to a national Scotties. The sweepers are working it. Needs to curl, Terry.
It's curl, it is.
It needs to curl.
It's not going to, Kevin. With that weight, it just stayed right there. And the Comeau team has just stolen the game.
Wow, so literally stolen the game. Steals in the 9th,
10th, and 11th.
And 11th. So Team Comeau will advance to the semifinal at 7 p.m. this evening versus Team Quillian. The winner of that game will advance into the finals tomorrow at 2 p.m. here at the Riverside Country Club. I'm Kyle, and I've been with Terry Roach today, and we look forward to seeing you all again tonight at 7 p.m. at the Riverside Country Club. Thanks, everyone.
Yes, thank you, Kevin. Very good game, and I'm sure the fans enjoyed it at home. Kept them on the edge of their seats for the entire morning.
For sure. Well said.
Good night.
Good night.